Chapter 1. The only 3 numbers you actually need. Let's dive into this important topic. Budgeting doesn't have to be a spreadsheet obsession. For most beginners, the bright blinking problem with money is that it feels like too much detail. Too many categories, too many rules, too many ways to feel guilty. This chapter strips all that away and gives you a tiny set of facts that change everything. If you can find 3 numbers and be honest about them, you already have more control than most people. Those 3 numbers are simple: how much money comes in, how much goes out, and what's left over. In the sections that follow, you'll learn how to find each number quickly and accurately, the common mistakes people make when estimating income and spending, and why accuracy matters more than perfection. You'll see why many budgeting failures start with guesses instead of facts. If you want clarity fast, you'll learn where to look and how to record these values in a way that's low effort but reliable. What you'll get from this chapter: a clear process to calculate your money in, money out, and money left. Practical tips for dealing with inconsistent paychecks and one-off expenses. And a short checklist you can use right now to get those 3 numbers and stop guessing. The emphasis is on building a habit that takes minutes, not hours, so you can move from stress to simple action. This chapter sets the foundation. Once you can state those 3 numbers without hesitating, every budgeting choice afterward becomes easier. The rest of the book depends on that honest snapshot. You won't be judged for what the numbers say. You'll be equipped to make better choices with them. 1 point money in your first number is how much money actually arrives in your hands each pay period. This sounds obvious, but people trip over gross versus net, side gigs, and irregular deposits. Spend a few minutes and get honest. Look at real statements. List every income source and pick the time frame you'll use for your budget. Monthly is easiest. No net, not gross. When you start a budget, use the money that actually lands in your account, not the impressive-sounding gross pay. Net income is what you can spend after taxes, benefits, and other withholdings. If you plan using gross pay, you'll trip over shortfalls the moment bills are due. To find net pay, pull a recent pay stub or check your bank deposit for the final amount. Salaried workers can take annual net pay and divide by 12. Hourly workers should use a typical month's hours and add overtime only when it reliably occurs. Being precise here doesn't require perfection. If your net varies slightly from month to month, choose a conservative number you can count on. That small discipline keeps your budget realistic and prevents the stress of expecting money that won't arrive. Include every income stream. Don't limit income to your main job. Write down every predictable source: a part-time job, gig work, tips, regular reimbursements, rental income, or side hustle earnings. Even small, steady amounts matter because they change what you can afford. For inconsistent sources, note how often they pay and use an average or conservative estimate for the budget period. If you expect a bonus but don't know the size or timing, don't count it as reliable income until it's confirmed. Being thorough doesn't mean including every possibility. It means being realistic. Only count money you can reasonably expect this month. That way your spending choices are based on facts, not hopeful thinking. Handle irregular pay with a simple average. If your pay fluctuates, averaging recent months gives a practical baseline. Add up your net deposits from the last 3 months and divide by 3 to smooth out spikes and dips. This simple approach turns unpredictability into a usable number. Freelancers and gig workers should plan from the lowest reliable month instead of the average if income swings wildly. Use strong months to build a buffer so you can cover leaner periods without panic. The goal is predictability, not perfection. Averaging makes everyday decisions manageable. Building a modest cushion turns unpredictability into something you can weather without changing how you live every month. Record it in one place. Keep your income number where you'll actually look for it. A single note, a 1-column spreadsheet, or a simple app. One trusted source prevents accidental double counting or guessing when bills come due. Update this record every time pay arrives, and label each income line clearly: main job, side gig, tips. If you average irregular income, note the period used for that average so you remember the method later. Accuracy beats perfection. Aim to get the number close and consistent rather than chasing minute changes. A single, reliable record reduces mental overhead and makes calculating your money out and money left straightforward and quick. 1.2 Money out. The second number is everything you spend. Don't try to track every penny at first. Aim to capture the big stuff and repeat expenses. Grouping spending makes this manageable. Fixed bills, essentials, variable spending, and occasional costs. Use a real snapshot so your budget reflects life, not wishful thinking. Start with fixed, unavoidable costs. Begin by listing every bill that rarely changes from month to month. Rent or mortgage, insurance, utilities, loan payments, and subscriptions. These are the backbone of your spending because they're predictable and usually non-negotiable. Pull 2 or 3 recent statements or your last few bank transfers to confirm amounts instead of guessing. If a payment does vary, like a utility bill, average the last 3 months to get a realistic monthly number. For subscriptions, check annual charges too, and divide by 12 so nothing hides off your radar. Write each item and its confirmed monthly amount in your single budget document. Quick tip: sort items by due date to see cash flow pressure during the month. When income fluctuates, use these fixed totals as the baseline you must cover first. Knowing this number makes every other budgeting decision clearer and less stressful. Track essentials and variable spending. Essentials are the things you need: groceries, transportation, basic personal care. Variable spending includes dining out, entertainment, and small impulse purchases. Treat these groups differently. Essentials should have tighter estimates, while variable items get a realistic buffer. Review 30 to 90 days of transactions from cards and cash to total each category. Don't rely on memory. Actual records prevent underestimating. If you see big swings, use the median month or an average to smooth anomalies. For groceries, start with your last 3 shopping trips and project a monthly total. For transport, include fuel, transit passes, and parking. Round up slightly when transferring numbers into your budget. An extra 5% cushion reduces surprises and helps you stick to the plan without constant recalculation. Account for one-off and annual expenses, big irregular costs, car maintenance, medical bills, gifts, holidays are where many budgets break down. They feel occasional until they hit. The simple fix is to convert them into a monthly amount and build them into the budget so they don't become emergencies. List predictable annual costs. Total them, then divide by 12. Example: $600 in holiday spending becomes $50 per month. For truly unpredictable items, estimate conservatively and create a small sinking fund you add to each month. Put these monthly equivalents into the same budget document so you can see the full picture. Treat the sinking fund like a regular bill. When the expense occurs, pay it from that buffer. This practice keeps surprises from derailing your basic spending plan. Use a quick audit method. If you want a fast, accurate snapshot without obsession, try this audit. Pick one recent bank or credit card statement and scan for recurring charges. Note subscriptions, bills, and any automatic payments. Then add one recent week of all variable spending, card purchases plus cash withdrawals, to capture everyday habits. Multiply that weekly variable total by 4, or use a 30-day window to estimate the monthly variable spend. Combine this with the fixed costs and the monthly equivalents for one-off expenses to get your full money out number. Record these totals in a single simple document and update them monthly. This low-effort routine gives clarity fast and is far more effective than complex systems you won't maintain. Small, regular audits beat occasional deep dives every time. 1.3 Money left. Money left is the simple result: income minus spending. This third number shows whether you're ahead break. It's the most useful number because it tells you what you can actually do next: save, pay down debt, or cut back. Focus on clarity, not judgment. Do the basic subtraction. Start with a single simple formula. Monthly net income minus monthly spending equals your money left. Use net income, the amount that actually lands in your account after taxes and deductions, so you're working with real cash, not gross numbers. Gather 2 quick totals: what comes in this month and what went out. For spending, include fixed bills, variable spending, and any one-off costs you expect. Then subtract spending from income. If the result is positive, that's your monthly surplus. If it's 0, you're balanced. If it's negative, you found a gap to close. Keep the math straightforward and repeat it when things change. If a paycheck, rent, or subscription shifts, update the totals immediately. This small habit prevents big surprises and gives you a reliable snapshot each month. Remember, this isn't about perfect forecasting. It's about clarity. The subtraction gives you a fact to act on, not a reason to feel judged. Interpret what the number means. Once you have your money left, pause and interpret it. A small surplus, enough to cover a few $100s, means you have room to build a safety buffer or fund short-term goals. It's progress, not perfection. A larger surplus opens more options. Accelerate debt payoff, invest, or add to an emergency fund. That extra space lets you plan strategically rather than react to monthly stress. If the number is negative, treat it as information, not failure. A deficit signals where to prioritize fixes: immediate cuts to variable spending, temporary income boosts, or negotiating bills. It points to action, not shame. Use the result to set realistic next steps. The meaning of the number is practical. What can I do this month? So focus on choices that move you forward, even with small wins. Create rule-based choices for the surplus. Decide ahead of time how you'll use any surplus so emotion doesn't drive your decisions. Simple rules remove guesswork and keep momentum steady. For example, you might allocate 50% to building a 1-month buffer, 30% to paying down debt, and 20% to a short-term goal. Customize those percentages to match your priorities. If debt is urgent, shift more toward payoff. If you lack savings, favor the buffer until you reach a comfortable cushion. The key is consistency. Automate where possible. Set up transfers the day after payday so the allocations happen without debate. For a regular income, apply the same rules to surplus months and scale back conservatively when income dips. Rule-based choices keep you steady. They turn leftover money into progress instead of impulse, and they make it easy to celebrate small wins as your plan unfolds. Take immediate steps for a shortfall. If your math shows a shortfall, act quickly with simple, high-impact moves. Start by pausing non-essential subscriptions and trimming discretionary spending like dining out or entertainment. These are the easiest places to free up cash fast. Next, negotiate or shop around for recurring bills. Insurance, utilities, and phone plans often have room for savings. If possible, pick up short-term income boosts, a side gig shift, selling unused items, or freelancing tasks that pay quickly. Prioritize essentials first: housing, utilities, food, and minimum debt payments. Communicate with creditors if a payment will be late. Many will offer temporary relief if you ask. Use your weekly money reset to monitor progress so the deficit doesn't return. Small, immediate steps plus consistent checking make shortfalls manageable rather than overwhelming.